All right, so we have a ton of new weapons available for crafting in terms of the SR characters, and that's really interesting because this is the first time we're seeing this. So we're going to talk about them now. I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you are new to the channel for more content, as well as click on the notification bell so you don't miss anything we upload here on the channel. By the way, they have added crafting for legendary runes. They're crazy for this. This is crazy. This is freaking crazy. Legendary runes and blessing stones. They're crazy for this. Wow, that's insane. That's an insane change. Like, not even epic, legendary. Wow. Okay. So let's cover this now. The SR characters have their own tab, apparently. They've only added in a handful of them. There's several more that we are missing, but let's start off with Kang Taesik here. Increases the user's back attack damage by 2.5%. Kang's damage increases. Kang Taesik's damage to targets inflicted with bleed increases by 2.5. That was kind of weird. So the first thing I got to say is that first line it's the same as that one rune, which is cool because that's an assassin. I think it's called an assassin proficiency. And then, you know, this is kind of where Sung Jin-woo kind of realizes that he is basically an assassin type too. So, I mean, it makes sense. It's just not as practical because, I don't know, Sung Jin-woo has a damn skill that shoots him directly to the back of the opponent. So it's not even remotely as practical. However, the second part's cool. Kang's damage increases to opponents inflicted by bleed by 2.5%. That number goes up a decent bit. I wonder what that max number looks like. Let's see what it is maxed out. 10%. Okay. Back damage 10% increases to 10% as well, setting aside the fact you get those extra bonuses. But I mean, nobody's pushing this that far, right? Considering it also requires all new materials, which I'll talk about more after we review these. I don't really love this. There's bosses that are just flat out immune to bleeds. I think it's a good one. I think he can do more damage, which is cool. And the bleed he also has is cool, but I think that's kind of whatever. Personally, I don't love it. But I don't think it's bad. I just think that Kang himself is not a bad character, but not the most useful character, if that makes sense. There was a time in early access where he was extremely useful, but I don't know that that's the case anymore. Personally, anyway. Maybe you disagree. That's fair. Let me know. Increases the user's fire damage by 2%. When using basic skill or core attack, increases damage dealt to normal monsters by 2% for 10 seconds. So largely irrelevant. We don't really need any normal monster clearing in particular. Increases the user's fire damage is cool. Would have been amazing if it increased the entire team's fire damage. When using the basic or core attack, increases damage dealt to normal monsters. Does stack 5 times. Good as a horde clearer. But, I mean, the fire team already has a better horde clearer, no matter what you do there. Better horde clearer in Emma, so it is what it is. But I'm not... okay, let me backtrack. I'm being a little bit too harsh on these guys because they're SRs. They're not meant to have weapons that are game-breaking, right? So, within the context, Kang's weapon's pretty damn good. This one's really good, too. So, let's look at Joohee, which I may actually craft as my first one. Just because I've built Joohee and I wanted to do a video for her. Increases the user's HP by 2%. That's pretty good. When tagging out, the user and the team members gain a shield equal to 2% of Lee Joohee's HP. This is actually a good one. Regardless of context, this is actually a good one. It's really good for the water team because the water team utilizes a lot of shields, gets bonuses for shields, things like that. This was actually pretty good. I like this a lot. So I don't mind this whatsoever. The extra HP as well is pretty solid for her just to maintain appearances anyway. So I like that one a lot. It doesn't really do much for you offensively at all. Nothing. But it is what it is. I don't mind it. Let's see our boy here at the end. Taste my steel, Kim. Increases the user's core attack damage by 4%. When the user uses a core attack, increases the next basic skill damage by 4%. I assume these are 10s, right? I keep hitting max there. I assume these are 10s. Oh, they're 24s. I was going to say 10 might be a little bit small. 24s. Increases the user's core attack damage by 24%. When the user uses a core attack, increases the next basic skill. What does his core attack do? I don't remember reading. I read his kit, but I don't remember exactly what he does because he's largely irrelevant. Weak. Oh, he's got a break on the core attack. That's not bad. I mean, that's typical. Never mind. I'm tripping. Airborne there. Does he have synergy for the core attack? Like, I have so many dupes in this guy. I haven't even used him. That's how irrelevant he is. 6 dupes I haven't infused. I thought I had made way more than that, by the way. The cooldown of Swift Shock decreases by 1. And the core gauge is charged by 50% when Storm Split is used. Cooldown of Storm Split decreases by 1, and the core gauge is charged by 50% when Swift Shock is used. So he just spams it. His break effectiveness goes up. His cooldown reduction effect changes to 2. It activates Gale Gouge. Okay. Gale Gouge there. Okay, so he's able to trigger the core attack more often.
This sword cost?
When he uses Storm Split or Swift Shock, it activates Gale Gouge. Okay, so when he uses these 2 skills, it activates the core attack as well. Interesting. So he's got a playstyle centered around just spamming the core attack. Very few characters just absolutely love using their core attack. Not that they don't like it, but very few have a playstyle centered around it. So shout out to the boy Tusk. However, I don't really think that I would personally build him. So here's the thing with him. This is where he's interesting. He is actually interesting for 2 reasons. First and foremost, he's a Wind Hunter. Wind is kind of weird. It's one of those, for the record, I think Wind's going to get the water treatment where it just goes crazy. I mean, it's got the same layout. It had 2, water had 2, no, water had 1 SSR with Suh, and then they picked up 2 more. But they had a bunch of SRs, right? They had 3 SR water hunters that you see on the left side. Wind has the same deal on the right side. Just a bunch of SR hunters. Park's pretty good, though. Heejin is good. Because they're both Park, right? Yeah, they're both Park. Heejin. So there's that. But then they have these 2 down here. But where this guy is pretty interesting is because he's also a breaker there. So if you needed another breaker, you could do that. That would have been more interesting before Wu Jinchul got a freaking god tier buff. So I need to see Wu Jinchul in action. But he seems much better. So we'll see what happens. But in terms of the weapons, I think I personally like the one for Joohee the most, but I can see why that might not be someone else's favorite. I was kind of hard on it, but I think the Kang one may be the best one. Just practicality-wise, I think the Kang one may be the best one, just flat out. Nam had one. I didn't see Nam's down there. Let's go to Nam. She may have the best one. If there are no enemies within a 5-meter range, increases the user's damage by 2.5%. When Nam attacks a frozen target, the target's defense decreases. Ooh. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't care about anything else up here. I don't care about the damage, blah, 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 the range. All I care about is the defense. That actually kind of cooks. Because the water team, I don't think the water team had a defense decrease, did they? That kind of cooks. Okay, so this is the best one. And this also solidifies her, which she was already the best breaker for this team, but this really solidifies her on that team, which means that Suh is getting dropped. So like if you've got Mei Lin and Alicia anyway, but Suh just wants to do more damage, and Suh does a lot of damage with the critical hit bonuses with the weapon and stuff like that, but Alicia's just better at that by a lot and more efficient at it. So but nonetheless, it's not the worst problem to have. So let's talk about these pieces. So these are not really surprising. It's the same pieces that the other ones need. The mana crystals, so that's not surprising. But they now have the SR design things. So where are these at? I did know that they said that you can get them in the exchange. That's the main spot that you can get these from. It looks like right now one of the main spots is to come here and do the exchange. This is kind of it resets every 5 days. It looks like maybe once a week. Anyway, kind of a little bit of a sucky spot to get these. It's much discounted, so that's good. But I don't love salvaging weapons too much just because the return on them is never as great because I would like to put them into the events. But however, maybe that is a little bit different now. I guess you could say it's a little different now because they've stopped running as many hunter weapon, hunter character, Sung Jinwoo weapon, Sung Jinwoo character events entirely as many as they used to. I think they kind of noticed what they were doing. So Hunter Archive also has them. That's pretty cool. And then managing weapons, what? what are you taking me here for? Is this just the salvage stuff? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean managed weapons has it? Hunter Archive has them. Where would they be at in Hunter Archive? On an SR Hunter, I assume. Let's see. So many SR Hunters now. Dossier, maybe? Huh. I don't see where this would be. This page almost looks like they would give you this weapon for free, though. Huh. Kind of tricky. I guess I'm not really mad at it, though. Oh, the secret library is where it'll be, huh? That's what it is. Unlocks upon clearing the Hunter Archive story. I'm pretty sure it's in the secret library. Or here. You can get her costume. The costumes, okay, there they are. The costumes, all that stuff, the rewards for clearing this. Okay, there it is. I was like, dude, I know that I saw that stuff, but she's the only one that has that available right now. For example, Joohee has a costume, but I guess since it was Battle Pass based, it's not free. Yet, anyway. I think it will be at some point. Okay, so if I were to craft one of these, it would probably be Noms. Joohee is the one that I probably would do as a passion project. I think Kang is the next best one. They're all solid within context, but I think this is probably the worst one. But just because lack of usefulness. If he was a breaker, maybe. I don't think he's a breaker. Maybe he was a breaker. I mean, you wouldn't need him because you'd ideally have Emma, though. He's a DPS. Yeah, there's no need. There just is no need for this guy. There's 2 fire DPSs. There's no need. 2 fire mages. He's another one. There's no need. So, quite unfortunate. I can't wait till they add Jinhos, though. I actually was hoping Jinhos would be in there. So they saved off Jinho, these water characters right here, then these guys, all these guys. But there's not a lot. There's enough for another batch. So, okay, that's cool. Which one are you looking forward to the most? Let me know in the comments down below. Which one are you going to craft, etc.? Post it down below.